Hi, I'm Evan. I live in New York City, but I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee. I've kind of lost the drawl. But growing up, I went to a very conservative Christian school for 13 years. And it was really challenging because I hadn't really come out to myself. I didn't know any gay people. And obviously our school was very hostile to gays. We actually had a class once about like what to do if you get a gay roommate in college and how to get rid of them. So yeah, it was kind of like a walk that I took on my own. But after my senior year of high school, I went to Syracuse upstate, so I was in a much more welcoming environment. I was able to come out to friends there, and after my freshman year, I went back to Nashville for a few months, and that's when I had my first boyfriend. He was 19, as was I. Met him at a gay club in Nashville when I was very drunk. Don't tell anyone. And basically had a summer fling with him. After about a couple weeks, I was like, you know what, this isn't working. But he would always say things like, hey, if you ever break up with me, I'm gonna kill myself. Like, you're the only reason I'm alive right now. And obviously that freaked me out. So I was like, okay, I'll ride this one out till I have to go back to school. So I finally did break up with him after like 2 months. It was not long at all. And he was really emotional and decided he wanted to come to New York with me to help me move into my new dorm at the start of the school year. So he drove up with me. My family still didn't know. They had met him once or twice, but they still didn't know. And on my birthday, the first week of school, he tried to kill himself in front of me. He tried to jump out my window because he was so depressed, whatever. I'm not really that cool, but apparently he thought I was. And he ended up stealing my laptop and went back to Nashville and basically looked through my MobileMe contacts for my iPhone at the time and basically just called every family member I have, called all my best friends, all of their parents actually, left crazy emails, told my mom that I should have been aborted. He called my grandmother. This is actually kind of a funny story looking back on it. But he called my grandmother at like 2 in the morning on a Tuesday, and she's a little hard of hearing. So he's hysterically crying, saying, you know, Evan's a faggot, don't trust him. And the next day, my dad gets a phone call from my grandmother, and he's like, oh God, I know exactly what this is about. And she just says, oh, Larry, this Hispanic woman called and says she's gonna rape Emma, who's my sister. So she still doesn't know, but that's kind of a funny story add-on. So for a while it was really weird. I was at school already for the semester, so I didn't have to deal with it in person really. But my mom called me the day after it happened. I didn't even know it had happened yet. And basically he's like, is this true? And I just decided I wasn't gonna lie anymore. You know, my original plan was I'll do it after school when it's all paid for. You know, I'm supporting myself anyways. But it just, sometimes life doesn't happen like that. So I decided I'm not gonna lie anymore. Yes, I'm gay. Sorry I lied to you, but now at least I'm not. And we didn't really talk much until Thanksgiving. I went home, and my mom actually took it a lot harder than I thought she would, and my dad not so much. He was kind of like, I don't agree with it, but you know, your happiness is my priority. They did look into sending me to conversion therapy, but the pastor at our church said, once I'm stuck in my ways, there's no returning. Apparently that's how it works, so didn't have to do that. But that was now 8 or 9 years ago. So a lot has changed since then. My parents don't even eat Chick-fil-A anymore, just because they think that would be rude. And they still believe what the Bible says, that it's not moral, but they're so past it. My mom, she basically says, every sin's the same, so why should I view you differently than someone who stole a lollipop from the candy store? Which isn't the most ideal way to look at it, but at least, it's not like I'm going to hell. And my sister lives in New York now, and she loves the gays now. She cooks dinner with me and all my friends, and watches Drag Race with me sometimes. So it really is crazy how much time can really mend things and let people realize what's a priority, what's not. So in hindsight, sticking that relationship out was probably not the healthiest thing to do. It's kind of kicking the can down the road, dealing with the inevitable conflict as late as possible. So if someone's telling you, hey, I'm gonna kill myself if you break up with me, maybe it's best to get another friend involved of theirs that you know. It's hard when you're not out because you can't really be like, hey, mom and dad, my boyfriend's gonna kill himself. That's too many can of worms opened. But talk to the people that support that person, and don't just say you're gonna deal with it later until you have to. Have faith in people that say they love you. If you don't believe them, then you shouldn't be friends with them or have them in your life. So really learn to trust people. I think that was something that was hard for me growing up because everyone was very religious, and I'm like, who actually believes this stuff? I can't really tell. And it was really surprising how many people really did not care when they found out, or were just like, yeah, we knew, obviously, which I think was probably mostly the case. My mom was like, yeah, I always kind of wondered, you're playing with your sister's Ariel Barbie doll when you're like 3 and like wearing a mop on your head as a wig. I'm like, guess I was born a big ol' homo, so I would just try to believe in the people in your life that say they love you.